I was talking to a bungee jumper the other day, and he said the most important thing was bouncing back. My name is Victor Ashley with Skyline Properties. I'm a real estate agent out of Seattle, Washington. You could reach me directly at 425-559-4590. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and following. And if you like, you can also share this content. Again, I just want to say thank you to anyone that has been supporting me. I really appreciate the comments, the text messages, the occasional snide comment I get from a friend of mine. But it seems to be something that people seem to like. So the channel's growing. We're at, I believe right now we're at 69 subscribers right now. And then at the same time, we have a lot of views. I was looking at it. We have a couple 10,000 views right now, so I just really appreciate it. The channel's growing, and I really want to invite you to join me in this journey of mine. I'm really new to YouTube. I've only been doing it for about a month and a half, and as you can tell, the video quality, the audio quality has gotten a little bit better, and I'm going to be switching to a new software system here in just maybe next week. So just thank you again for your patience, and hopefully we both grow out of this together. Okay, so back to our reviews. The last couple of days I've been doing reviews for rent. I've been talking about a series on rent. If you have any questions on it, you can watch it right here. But it's both from the renter perspective and also from the potential landlord perspective. So I just wanted to, just kind of pitch it, but that's what I've been doing in the Linwood area. And I wanted to go back and start our reviews over again in the 2 zip codes I track in Seattle. So the first one I track in Seattle, that's the one that we're doing today right now, is the 98117. That's the Crown Hill neighborhood. I'm also going to be doing the Queen Anne neighborhood one tonight as well. I'll load both of these, and then we'll get started back into our regular review rotation. But I just want to say thank you for allowing me to get into a different series and get very specific on some things that I've been seeing in the area. But we spend a lot of time in the Linwood area, so I want to spend some time again in the Seattle area that I've been also tracking. Okay, so let's just get straight to it. Back to my screen share. Now, if you don't know where the Crown Hill neighborhood is, it's about 6 miles north of the Space Needle. And in the area, Golden Gardens is out there, as well as a couple other locations that are showing up on here. But this main drag is 15th and Holman. And then over here is Highway 99, and then I-5 right here. Right here is Green Lake. It's just outside of the Crown Hill neighborhood in the 98117. But this zip code covers spaces such as Finney Ridge, a little bit of Greenwood, a little bit of Crown Hill. So specifically when I call it the Crown Hill neighborhood, it covers pretty much all of those in general. It also covers half of Ballard. So I just want to give you a general idea. I'm not sure I actually got into that before in one of these reviews, but I just wanted to take a quick note and just say it does cover a couple of different neighborhoods inside of Seattle, but it's the 98117 in particular. Okay, so one thing that when I went through our marketing amounts on this, and let me get to it right now. I don't know what happened. But one thing that I noticed in here, going through this, is just in 1 week, and this might be something that is a little bit different, but because the numbers can change just a little bit, the average square footage cost went up just a tad, and our average house and what we're looking at that is available for purchase in that home, in that area, is just under $800,000. Now, that house has also been on the market for 100 days, and it is 3 beds and 2 baths, and it's just about 1,400 square feet. So just so you know, that's the generic house that we're going to be using for our example today. Now, I took a look at it from last week, and it was just about the same size. But from what I've been noticing, and I've been talking to other agents too, anybody that is coming onto the market, they're pricing their home a little bit on the lower side. But what I also noticed when I looked at this is there was a couple of houses in here that were priced more recently, and they were put on a little on the higher side. So what I think, and this is my hypothesis behind this, they might be thinking that they're going to be getting last year's market with this year's pricing. So we're not exactly sure yet, but we'll get into that in a second. Now, I also went over and I prepared our interest rates. Our interest rates right now are right at 7.5. So this is just me doing a Google search on obviously Google. But it came out with a 30-year fixed rate is approximately 7.5%. And this is with 20% down in medium range credit score. So when we go to our actual credit calculator for this area, to buy the home at approximately $800,000, we're going to need a household income of $230,000, low monthly debts, as well as 10% down, which is about $80,000. That on a 30-year fix with a slightly higher interest rates because we're not bringing 20% down, and Google estimates us right about 7.8. It would come out to a purchase price of $800,000, but we would need again $230,000 in household income and at least $80,000 in down payment. Now when we get into our monthly payment though, that is going to be $5,200 a month because the mortgage amount on that is going to be $720,000. So now you have an idea of what we're looking at for the actual prices in that area. You're going to have a actual mortgage payment of at least $5,200. Again, this is going to be for payment and interest. Your taxes and your insurance are going to be additional, and any kind of HOAs or special assessments would be additional at that point in time. So now we kind of get into our affordability issue that we've been talking to a little bit before, and I'm going to get into that later next week, and I'm going to start incorporating rents into the reviews as well, so you can see how much that area was with the rents also. But again, we're looking at the average house that is available right now for purchase, just under 800,000 and 100 days on market. Now, when I was looking through some of these actual listings in here, and these are all publicly available, your agent or anyone else, or just if you go on Zillow, these are available for you to view. If you have any interest on this, you can also get a hold of me. I'd be happy to introduce you to these homes. But from what I can tell, some of these houses are coming on market and they are on for quite a bit more. And I'm not exactly sure what this is, but I did make a note of it. So if they're coming on for more than the market average, they're staying on. It's the ones that are coming on for approximately 5 to 10% under market. Those are the ones that are going quickly right now. So I just wanted to kind of cover that real quick, as well as I also want to get into what I've been doing. I actually been covering what is the average household in that neighborhood actually, what can they actually afford? So this is the census data. If you haven't heard from me talk, you haven't heard me talk about this. But according to the census data in this area, the average household makes $147,000 a year. And then they would be bringing about $60,000 in down payment if they were to purchase. So where you're at on this, and again, this would be roughly 10% down what you would be at for a purchase in this zone, in this area with that price point, is only in the 515 range. Now, again, your down payment's going to kind of bump between 50,000 and 60,000. And if you only make 147,000 in a year, or your household does, that's 1, 2, or even a third person in the household contributing, you would only be qualified with today's rate at $513,000. And then when we do the inverse of that and we try to figure out exactly how much that mortgage payment looks like, your mortgage payment on average is going to be at least $3,200. And again, that's only going to have your payment and your interest in it. Okay, so now that we covered the average house, let's actually kind of look at the houses that we have on market right now. I wanted to go over this one first because this one was on for just about our market rate, and it's a little bit above our current market. This has been on for 1 week already. I reviewed this one last week. I was surprised it hasn't gone yet because I was very impressed with the house. But this house is $845,000 over in the Crown Hill neighborhood, 3 beds, 1 3/4 bath, and just under 1,500 square feet. Lot size is about the same size as everything else in this area, and it only qualifies for a conventional or if you bring cash to the table. So when I go into the house, I was really impressed with it last time. It was mostly because of this recessed lighting. All throughout the entire first floor, and I also noticed in a couple of other areas, they have recessed lighting in the ceiling. That's an incredibly expensive upgrade to do. And then also you can tell that the kitchen has been completely remodeled. So from what I can tell, this is a very high-end looking home. This is very similar to what you're going to get on a new construction home. But this house is kind of funny. This house is actually almost 100 years old, but it's been completely remodeled. So you have an idea that there is a lot of houses out there that actually have these kind of finishings in them. Okay, now let's move on to number 4. And again, I reviewed that one last week, so I didn't want to get too far into it. But if you have more questions on that, get a hold of me and I'll be happy to send it over to you so you can look at it. This one has only been on for 2 days. This is at $700,000. And it's 3 beds, 1 3/4 bath again, and just under 1,400 square feet. That's 1,340 to be exact. And this is actually a townhouse. This is an end unit of the townhouse. And from what I can tell, there is no HOA here, but this is something that we'd have to verify in the actual, if we actually go in and think about making an offer on that home. So again, it says no HOA right here, but we have to verify everything. Just remember that. So as we go into the house, you're going to notice that the finishings are also kind of updated. The molding's been updated. It also has recessed lighting. The big thing that I see is the difference in here is the kitchen. You have tile in the kitchen. You have a quartz countertop, and then you have some of the older looking cabinets in here, as well as this is an electric stove, it looks like. So there's slight upgrades that you can do to the kitchen, as well as this looks like the bath that's on the main level. And then this is your primary bedroom. Just everything looks pretty nice, and it's not a bad looking little house. But again, it's for $700,000. And if you're in that range, as we already reviewed, there's a lot of things that's available out there in that actual price point. Again, this is actually in 1999 it was built. So this is only 20 years old. But from what you can tell, you can get a slightly larger house with a lot more finishings when you compare the two, even though it's a little older. The problem, though, that you have an issue with is you're going to run into an issue maybe with your potentially with the wiring. And from what I can tell, because of the all the recessed lighting that the previous one had, the recessed lighting, that means that they had to have an electrician come in, and more than likely they rewired the entire house. So more than likely you're not going to have a knob and tube, but that's something that we don't know unless we actually went into that house. Okay, and then for our final one, I'm going to do one that's approximately where the normal or the average household can actually purchase in this neighborhood. And again, that's going to be right in the 515 range. So let's take a quick look at our list. I'm going to have one here. And let's take a look at this condo that has been on the market now for 61 days, and this is number 1. Again, I want to thank everyone for actually watching these. I really appreciate that you joining me on these. I actually really do enjoy doing these. But at the same time, I really enjoy going to these houses with you. So if you want to hire me directly, you can get a hold of me directly at 425-559-4590. And I'd be happy to show you this in person. Now, I've talked about this condo a couple of times. So if you're brand new to the channel, this is for you, and everybody else, I'm sorry. But this one's still on the market. It's been on the market now for 2 months. It's $450,000. It's a 2-bed, 1 3/4 bath, and it's a little over 1,250 square feet. So it's 1,253 to be exact. This is over on 85th and 12th Ave over in Crown Hill. And this is just towards the north side of the Crown Hill zone. And it was built in 1980. And your price per square foot comes out to $358. So this is actually our best buy per square foot in the neighborhood. The thing on this though, you have HOA dues of $500 a month. Now, when I go into our actual calculator in here, you can see this is $513. But if you look at our list on here, it was for $450,000. But Victor, I'm qualified for more. Why are you showing me this house? I'm showing you this house because actually when we put in a couple of extra things, it's going to actually be really close. And here we go. So I just added our HOA due to our loan calculator, and that puts you in the purchase budget. That's kind of interesting. Your HOA fees, they do affect your actual price. So your purchasing power. So again, I just wanted to take a quick moment and just say, hey, you have to be aware of where your purchasing price is, as well as your purchasing power. And then anything extra, like your HOA fees and all, that is going to eat into your actual purchasing power. So just be very, very mindful of that. And that is something that your real estate agent should be able to show you, or your mortgage agent also. Okay, let's actually finish up the review and then we'll call it good. So I've done the inside of this one a couple of times, so I feel kind of bad just doing it over and over again, but we'll go through it real quick. But we have a balcony on the front. We're more than likely going to have to replace the carpet as well as doing some painting in here. The kitchen, if I remember, the kitchen needs a little bit help with possibly some sort of countertop work. The cabinets themselves look fine, but it's more likely you want to replace the countertop. Just to something that kind of works for you, possibly the range or a couple of the appliances. And then more than likely you're going to replace the floors and also paint the walls. On a condo, you want to be aware you own the airspace inside of the actual drywall. So that's the best way to think about it, is you kind of own airspace, you own this cube. So just if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to me. But yeah, in conclusion, I just want to thank everyone again for actually watching this video with me. Again, you can reach me directly at the number that I gave you earlier, or you can get a hold of me with the email that I have in the comments section in the description below. But please be aware that your purchase power can be affected by your HOAs, and at the same time, in this interest rate, you want to make sure that you buy the house that is best fitting for your budget. Please be aware, everything is in flux right now, and it is very important that you be mindful and work with a team that's going to be able to support you. And again, I really want to say thank you again for joining me today. It was a pleasure working with you, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend.